had a long experience with historically black colleges and universities. When I grew up in Washington, D.C., I attended several programs at Howard University. In fact, I participated in a class in which, in theater, in which Debbie Allen actually taught the choreography for. And so it was very exciting to have that kind of an opportunity. Didn't know who Debbie Allen was at that particular time, but later on, it was quite interesting to learn so much about the history of not just Debbie Allen, but the campus that I was doing a lot of my performances on at Howard University. Eventually, I knew that I wanted to go to a historically black college. And so, although Howard was in my backyard, I knew I didn't want to go to the school in my backyard. You know, parents could pop up on the campus at any moment. And so, who wants to be on the campus where your parents might pop up and say, hey, what are you doing today? And so Morgan State University, which was about 45 minutes away in Baltimore, had a curriculum that I was interested in. And so I made the decision that Morgan State University would be the institution that I would attend. Afterwards, well, let me just talk about that experience because that was so important. For me, I had attended predominantly white institutions, predominantly white Catholic institutions in Washington, D.C. in my high school years. And so I didn't see a faculty member of color. And so for me, it was imperative that I experienced not just culture, but also intellect. And so for me, going to Morgan State University, I had an opportunity to learn from what I think is some of the top intellect in the world, to be honest with you. Many of our faculty members attended institutions like Harvard University, like Howard University, like Cornell. And so it was great to know that they had attended, you know, institutions that had been, had challenged learning. And so they were the best of the best. And that's what we find at historically black colleges and universities, the best of the best. And with them comes the integrity, comes the ability to ensure that the students who are taking their courses are knowledgeable about that information. And so my biology teacher, for example, Dr. William Nelson, wanted to make sure that not only did we finish his courses knowledgeable about biology, knowledgeable about genetics, knowledgeable about molecular biology, but that we were excelling in those areas. And so it was a challenge. It was a true challenge. And so afterwards, I then went to Penn State University, and it was definitely a culture shock. But I can tell you that attending Morgan State University prepared me for Penn State University. And that's what a lot of people don't really understand. Historically black colleges and universities prepare you to attend any institution where you might decide to go for a higher degree.